If there's constant player changes, everything's gonna be a bit more sloppy. So I feel like with this team, we start from scratch, and I think it's good that Blade understands it. I think s1mple understands it as well. We have high expectations no matter what.
In terms of working with Blade, he's got a reputation for things being done his way and having the system. How is that being implemented when you brought into the team?
I don't think it was a discussion necessarily. He made it clear to me that it's his project, and I made it clear to him that I want to work with his ways.
You're gonna have some sort of like, feel like they're your friends as well, right?
Hopefully.
Hopefully,
If
yeah.
Aleksib is not gonna leave, you know.
You're gonna be sticking around?
Yeah, more than 6 months, hopefully.
Aleksib, s1mple, boys, the break is over, we're back. First of all, how did the break go? How have you been spending the time off? Have you managed to actually have some vacation?
I did,
Yeah?
some, but obviously, start of player break,
Sure.
got benched. But once everything was a bit more settled, I tried to take some time off, and I felt like I at least got some good 2 weeks.
You get to go leave the country, get to go anywhere exotic?
I mean, I went overseas with my dad to hike in America, and that's it.
That sounds lovely. A bit of a hike. That's quite wholesome. s1mple, not sure if you've got the same lifestyle. Maybe you were balling, going with some more exotic destinations. Where did you spend the vacation?
I was just playing CS.
Just a bit of CS? Like still gaming? Still got that fire inside you?
Need to get better form. So I was grinding on player break.
Probably the most unexpected change, I think, out of all the roster changes. NAVI making massive headlines here with this international change. s1mple, I guess for you, could we find out why this change you feel like was required? What was the problems in the previous roster? Why do you feel like we've got to this position?
I think everyone wanted something new.
Yeah.
And everyone decided to find better option for themselves.
Do you feel like there were problems within the team that couldn't be resolved? Was there a lack of regional players that weren't making sense for you to make this decision to go international?
No. I think we wanted it back ago. And I think that was perfect timing.
This is a good timing now. Yeah. So would you say this?
Sorry, to start new season and move to CS2 as well.
Yeah.
So it's always nice.
So this is building for the future now,
yes,
the future of NAVI.
And for brand as well.
How do you feel going back into an international roster? Been a time for you since you were in Team Liquid. Obviously, you've got some experience there, but do you feel like it's going to be a massive change?
I think it's more calm for me, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm just focusing more on my game. And I don't know, it's just interesting to listen, guys, because they bring something new.
Yeah, well, bringing a whole new system, I suppose. Aleksib, going into NAVI right now, correct me if I'm wrong here, when we're talking with Russian and Ukrainian speaking players, the system you guys use is like calling by numbers almost, right? You like dissect the bomb site. Presumably, you're going to have to play more of a European style. Did that discussion ever happen? Was that something you guys ever talked about?
Yes, and I think like all in all, it's like Blade is creating all the ideas, and he felt like the majority of the players right now have been speaking in international callouts, and also Bit and s1mple has also played some FPL, so maybe there is international callouts from there or from Liquid as well. So it feels like what the majority is thinking, whether it's like whatever callouts or something else, he's trying to introduce those to the team, and the people who didn't work with those, they need to learn some more. So obviously for s1mple and Bit, it's going to be a lot of new stuff when it comes to callouts and all the different reaction names and whatever. But I think they're managing well. Obviously it takes time to get used to it, but still.
I think you said in a recent interview about 3 months you think you need before you feel like you'll be fully online.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to take time, but who knows how drastic the change to CS2 will be. So I think it's going to be impossible for all of these teams to think about like ahead in the future, because the meta will change, everything will change, the maps will change. So for us, at least, for the duration of CSGO, we're going to try our best. And I think this tournament, at least, is going to be a stepping stone for Cologne. And we'll go from there.
Moving to the change to international here, you've worked with a couple of international projects. I would say it's fair that you haven't maybe found the same glory you did within ENCE, the same sort of success. Do you think that's anything to do with it being international, regional, or is it just you didn't have the tools to work with back in those teams?
I mean, I think, yeah, sure. Like if you start a new project from scratch, or if there's constant player changes, everything's gonna be a bit more sloppy. So for example, in OG, we played together for a long time before anything happened. but in G2 and NIP, it's been all over the place. So I feel like with this team, we start from scratch, and I think it's good that Blade understands it. I think s1mple understands it as well. But I feel like we have high expectations no matter what, and we all want to do well, no matter if it's been a week, a month, 3 months. But we've had some discussions, and I think we understand the situation, though.
In terms of working with Blade, he's got a reputation for things being done his way and having the system. How is that being implemented when you brought into the team? Is that a discussion? Do you guys see the game the same way?
I don't think it was a discussion necessarily. He made it clear to me that it's his project and his way, and I made it clear to him that I want to work with his ways, but he also understands that we are going to meet somewhere in the middle when it comes down to some different topics, because obviously it needs to work, because I'm still the one who can talk mostly in game, and not him, obviously, only on timeouts and whatnot. So I think we get along well. So for me, it's a learning process, but I feel like he is constantly working with us. No matter if the practice day ends, he still wants to speak and wants to work more. So I'm really fond of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just excited to play an official or two and just to see how the vibe is.
Speaking of excitement, s1mple, some new boys coming in, some fresh blood, JL, Emma. What are your thoughts coming into them? I assume you have quite a loud voice within the team. What were the kind of qualities of those players that you thought were required within NAVI? What did you like about the two players?
I think Emma, very high individual player.
Yeah,
I think he
absolutely.
can be even better.
Yeah.
He's doing very crazy headshots. His aim and reaction is so good. I think Aleksib is very smart.
He is a smart guy. I think that's fair.
I like how he's making calls. And JL gonna be, I think, heart of the team. He's very funny guy.
I spoke to JL before I call you guys outside. It seems like he's got a very smart head. He's a very calm player.
And he has a lot of, he brings a lot of good atmosphere.
Yeah, he does have a good vibe to him. I think that's
very
important,
funny
right?
vibe.
How, I wouldn't say you guys necessarily had a bad vibe in the previous lineup. It didn't seem like it was like you're a team of brothers, right? It didn't seem like you had that sort of family
It's like
bond.
something what I remember from 2016, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'd like to see.
And it's on English as well, and it's so
so
funny.
you're looking to, you want to have that same sort of like family vibe in the team as well. You want to have some sort of like, feel like they're your friends as well, right?
Hopefully. If Aleksib is not going to leave, you know.
You're going to be sticking around?
Yeah, more than 6 months, hopefully.
Oh, boys, well, I think it's exciting. I don't think anyone ever saw this one coming. In-game leaders are pretty high up there in terms of the pecking order of teams want to pick them up. Were there a lot of offers coming your way at that point? Or is it like, were people questioning your ability after the NIP sort of situation?
I mean, I think a lot of people were questioning the ability, and for sure, like Blade also wanted to speak with me, asking me different questions, and I believe he was asking people from the community, maybe even my past teammates. But honestly, everything was resolving quickly. Sure, there were some other offers as well, but I feel like if you get a message from NAVI in my shoes, like you can't
Absolutely
you can't miss
agree.
that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was priority number one, and obviously playing alongside the best. What can I
Best
say?
of the best. I think that's fair. He's earned it, hasn't he? For you, s1mple, a lot of roster changes, a lot of teams making big moves here, including yourselves. Who do you think, apart from NAVI, made the best roster change, the one that excites you the most?
Yeah, already told it's, I think, Vitality. On first place, just one player.
Yeah.
They can bring him in system, in Zonic system.
Are you a Flames fan?
No, not really.
No, really.
More Spinks than Flames.
I think I have to agree. I think Vitality, it's a crazy move to make considering you just won the major. But do you admire that sort of change, having the balls to do it?
At first, I was also questioning a bit, just winning the major and everything. But then I read the interview and I read some back, and I obviously know Flames, so I think for them it's a really good move for CS2, because I feel like Flames is a player that adapts well, plays this, I wouldn't say maybe a flashy style in terms of his movement and the aim he has. So I feel like for CS2 it's a really good adaptation from them.
In terms of picking up these players that have these amazing runs at the major, for example, specifically Emma and JL, coming in from that environment, moving into NAVI, now the spotlight is on them. You've been in that position as well, going from a regional team to an international squad, playing with the likes of s1mple. It's a big deal. Has there been a conversation of the sort of support these guys need in terms of going from kind of underdogs to now expected to deliver?
I mean, they both, at least JL and Ima, they played a really good major, both of them. But still, maybe the stage appearance or just overall playing Tier 1 tournaments, they don't have as much experience. But I feel like they both have a good mentality. They both are buying into the system. And I feel like, yeah, I mean, all of us are just like way too excited to play. And I feel like we have now like 3 tournaments coming up, almost like straight tournament to tournament. So we will know the level. We will know what to work on. We will know everything much clearer after 1 week.
Yeah. I guess as well with the idea that you're building for CS2, you're looking to the future, Sasha. What would be success now for the next couple of months now? What would be your idea of success? Would it just be getting the team to a level you're happy with? Are there any objectives you'd like to do at these upcoming events? So what would be a satisfying couple of months for you now?
For me, it would be great if we prepare like all maps.
Yeah. Have you ever felt like you're in that position where you've got
We will know
maps
all
completed?
position,
Yeah,
all communication.
we'll have everything locked down.
English will become a bit better.
Yeah.
And we will be ready in CS2.
Yeah,
We
I
start
guess-
practicing in CS2 together again with boot camps.
In terms of like other teams that haven't made so many changes, you guys are building for the future. We look at like G2, we look at FaZe, for example. FaZe finished last season pretty disappointed by their standards after the Grand Slam and the major victory. Do you understand why they haven't made changes? Is like another approach to it, I guess, instead of changing for the future. They know this roster has already been proven. Do you think there's any sort of good thought process there as well? Is that something you can admire at the same time?
I mean, I feel like for G2, it's different from the past. I feel like they also changed players a lot and in very short time. So I think it is a good thing for them to stay together because then they actually know the level and they actually know if they can improve or get back to the form they had previously. And yeah, for the other teams as well, I mean, there must be a reason behind it. Or maybe if there's no reason behind it, maybe it was something else. But I feel like it is really good that some teams stick together, but it's just up for them to show the motivation and the hunger because sometimes, as s1mple said, sometimes you need something else. Sometimes you need a fresh start or anything like that.
I think FaZe really good that they saved roster.
Well, I guess
They're always strong.
they're
very
always
nice.
strong. I guess like it's difficult, right? Because every team will go for this like peaks and troughs. You'll go for this amazing
Yes.
period and you go down. Like famously, like teams like VP would still go for these 2-year slumps of being.
And at some point when you're playing all together,
Yeah.
you can be very consistent and just go like.
Yeah, but I guess at the same time, when it feels like nothing's working, and you go for, you've been there as well. You go for like 2 months of having bad tournament results, things aren't working
And after
well.
everything changed because
That-
of hard work. Yeah.
Hard work, yeah. I guess like it can be tempting to change a player because it feels like a quick fix. You described what the honeymoon period could potentially coming into this team. You think there's a chance you guys get that? Could you explain for the people at home what a honeymoon period feels like for a new team? What is it about a honeymoon period that kind of works for a team that haven't played before?
I think it means like nobody will have some really big problems at the beginning
Yeah,
because we just stick together and we just gonna play like. At some point, we will do some improvisation, not like strat, because of course we practice a lot of strat for some maps, but because of amount of time, we couldn't do everything. And everyone will just feel vibe and great emotions. And maybe on this, it's gonna be like snowballing opponents.
snowballing into
Hopefully.
success. Yeah, I guess it's something that there's definitely some psychology to it. When people are new to a system, everyone's coming fresh off a break as well.
And it's
That's
it's
like
very
you do,
good time for preparation as well because we have bus groups, all games best of 3. You still have chance to qualify through next stage, and you can practice it because it's like 10 days of blast of our group. We can do like 7 days of
That's
preparation.
true. And you get lots of games
Yeah,
in this time.
And our goal to show great result in Cologne. So first of all, of course, qualify from
So
group.
this is like the perfect environment.
Yes.
Like, at least you'll get some time, experience on land. Even if you don't get the result you need, you'll get a lot of information to take away from it and hopefully implement it for Cologne, where you guys really will have to deliver. Last few questions here, Aleksib. With that in mind, knowing it's a looser structure here going into it, do you have like a change of game plan, something different, or are you trying to stick to what you know in the Aleksib system?
I mean, I think for me, it's like understanding Blade's way of approaching officials, Blade's way of approaching everything, rather.
Because he normally comes in with a dossier of information, all that. Are you guys going to still have those sort of resources? Or?
Yeah, I feel like that's where we're gonna start. And I feel like for me, exactly what you just said. Like, I'm gonna try to learn and try to get as much as I can out of this. Obviously, I will call by feeling. As s1mple said, we couldn't prepare everything for the duration of time we had. Obviously, we need to be better on certain maps than others. And yeah, it's a lot of days to work now and a lot of days of officials. And I feel like I'll try my best to fit into the system. And then maybe in the future, we're gonna change a couple aspects. But for now, it's just understanding the way he wants to prepare for the officials, how he's gonna prep me for them. Obviously, I'm gonna do my own thing, but at the end, it's just like feeling the flow. That's it.
This is Coffee with Henry. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Best of luck.
Thank you,
Very
boss.
exciting
Thanks.
project. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.